Hello, hi, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name's Rachel, and today I want to go over some of the products I picked up at the Sephora sale, and let's go ahead and get ready with each other. All right, so this is going to be a learning process of figuring out how to be able to apply my makeup in my mirror without hiding all the things that I'm doing. But while we kind of kick this off, I'm going to go ahead and use the Thrive Cosmetics 360 Eye Lift Eye Primer just to give a little bit extra hydration under my eyes, and then go ahead and set my lids up for success with eyeshadow. I've kind of recently fallen back in love with this product, just for more for eyeshadow, but it is nice under the eyes. It does help concealer kind of stick around, but I think it's what's making my concealer more prone to creasing, but I'm going to continue to test that theory out. But I'm really excited to share some of these on camera. I don't typically go super crazy at the Sephora sale. I went crazier this spring than I have, but that's because I've really changed my buying pattern to hold off on buying if I'm buying a Sephora specific brand or something at Sephora until one of these sales hit. So we know there's going to be like 2 to 4, I think, sales throughout the year. So I typically buy direct from brands, but for the Sephora sale, I'll hold all of my purchases until I can get a discount, because it's not like it's a huge discount, but it is nice to save on things that you would be buying at the full price anyway. So yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and start with the base. I typically do my base first, so I'm going to be using the Nars Light Reflecting Foundation, and I have the shade Mont Blanc. It's not the perfect shade match for me, but I think it'll be fine. I am probably more excited to use this as the weather warms up. I bought a few different base products at the sale this year because I'm trying to figure out if the Chantecaille is really worth the large price tag, and I think it is, which makes me kind of sad. And I'm just using the Beauty Pie Seamless Foundation buffing brush, but I think this Nars is a strong contender. The coverage is about the same. It's like a nice light medium, and it is very skin-like, but on my skin at least, it leans more towards satin matte, whereas the Chantecaille is definitely dewy. And I think what I'm learning is that I love the Chantecaille so much because my skin loves gel type moisturizers, and that's really what the base of that product is. And it continues to kind of hydrate throughout the day, so it doesn't end up like getting a funky texture or breaking up on my skin. So I think it is worth it, but I'm going to continue to give this a try. But like I said, I do think I'm going to like this, especially once the weather warms up and my skin gets like a touch oilier than normal. So yeah, I do like it. I'm just going to go in for a little bit more coverage on a couple of my areas where I have acne scarring. I have texture, I have acne scarring. I don't try to get a super perfected look anymore. I used to wear a ton of coverage, but I want the products to just look like my skin and be able to wear well. That's why the Chantecaille is like such a game changer for me. But yeah, I do like this. I think it looks nice. I hope it's translating. Not full coverage. It's, like I said, light to medium, but it does look like skin. There's still a little bit of radiance left, but it is slightly drier than like that Future Skin Gel mascara foundation. All right, the next I picked up on Khaki Reviews Beauty's recommendation, the item by Addison Ray Concealer. I have it in the shade 100. I'm kind of nervous about this. I was just interested. I just wanted to see what it was like, if it was something that would even come close to the Kosas. This is the only concealer that I typically wear. I love it. This is like my 3rd tube of it. We're getting low. The only thing is, like, you have to use this. Like, this concealer has to be the concealer that you're mainly going to use because it will start to go bad, or I notice the consistency changes. Obviously that's like a few months in, so if you have one concealer and that's all you're using, which is how I've been using the Kosas since I got it, yeah, it's fine, it's perfect, it's a beautiful finish. It does not typically crease under my eyes. Like I said, I think this base that I've been putting on does, but I'm playing around, but it does not crease. It looks like skin, it covers, but it's not like a Shape Tape or anything. And from what Kaki was saying, it sounds like this might be a little closer to Shape Tape. So I've used it once, but I don't really remember how I got on with it. Like the Nars foundation, I've been using more consistently for like the past few weeks. So I know that I like this. I'm not sure. So hopefully it doesn't make today's makeup crazy or anything. So I'm just going to spot conceal first. Oh Lord, that was a lot. Okay, we're going to share that. And then I'm going to do one eye because I don't know how this sets yet. I'm not fully comfortable with it. I hope these noises are not crazy. I'm noticing the noises, and it's really funny because the bird noises in the background, like even when I'm editing the footage, there's just so many birds in our backyard that I don't even notice it when I'm editing because I'm just used to that background noise constantly. And especially now that it's warming up a little bit, hopefully it lasts, but I'm assuming that those birds are gonna be very vocal for the next few months. I love it, it's very relaxing to me, but we'll see. Yeah, see, that is a much drier formula than the Kosas, so I'm glad I laid down that primer first because oh, she dry on me. I also think maybe I got too light of a shade. Under the eyes, I think I can get away with it, but we'll see about these other areas. I also wonder too, like how would this concealer play with something like the Chantecaille Future Skin Gel, because that's much more moisturizing. That way I'm not starting out with like two drier products. They're not super dry. I don't want to like scare anyone off, but they're just drier than that gel foundation, which is hard to do because it feels just like a gel moisturizer with a little bit of pigment in it. It's like, it's gorgeous. It is very brightening. I'm wondering if that's maybe too light of a color, or I don't know. I guess we'll find out. Oh Lord, pray for this face of makeup, everybody. Okay. I will say though, a little bit of this does go a long way. I get a lot of recommendations from Kaki, but there are just a few things where we really stray, like the McGrath concealer. Oh, I wanted to love it and it just was not made for me. Again, it was like a little too dry. This is so light on my face. Oh gosh. Can we salvage? We'll bring in the bronzer. And then the eye look I'm planning today is going to be really fun. So now I'm just gonna set a little bit under my eyes, which I don't know if this is the right thing to do, but luckily the Well People bio-based baked brightener, this is the best. I know a lot of people talk about different powders that are very like weightless, but this one is truly weightless. It brightens a little bit, but like for lightly powdering under your eyes right here by your nose, where I tend to have like more texture from pores, it does help blur that and just mattify the areas that you don't want to be super shiny, but it's not fully matte. You'll still get a little bit of radiance there. So I like to just touch around the spots where I would get a little bit oily, but it's a super, super lightweight powder. Yeah, like even if I were to rub my finger, you can see it on my finger and that looks heavier than it is, but once you start blending it out, it just like disappears. It didn't disappear, but like it disappears. Just trust me, okay? Love this, and it's like 20 bucks. I get mine at Ulta. You can get it at Target. I love this, especially for more mature skin. The only other powder that rivals this for me is the Charlotte Tilbury, and that's like $45. So all day, every day. That obviously is not from Sephora, but that's just, it's almost like my security blanket. I have to use it. The next product I'm going to use here is the Patrick Ta, the She's Statuesque Cream Contour and Powder Bronzer Duo. Mine is really gross. It has like quite a dent. I did not purchase this at this sale, but I do want to get a little bit of a contour going because this is going to end up being a more dramatic look than like what I typically wear day to day. So I just want to add a little bit of structure. Also, yes, I'm holding my hair back with a eyebrow brush because I couldn't be bothered to go find a scrunchie or a clip. It's called being, what's the word I'm looking for? It's called being thrifty? No. Creative, whatever. You know what I'm trying to say? Okay, so I've got just a little bit of contour going, nothing crazy. The next products that I want to talk about are new to me from the sale and another khaki recommendation, but I've been wanting to try the other color that I think she actually picked up at the sale too, but it's the Natasha Denona Puff Paints. I have a very similar relationship to Natasha Denona. Her eyeshadow formulas just don't work for me, especially at the price. They are hard for me to place and blend because I don't use that traditional tapping. I like windshield wiper or circular blending motions. It's just how I think. So her eyeshadows don't work for me. I did use her highlighter for a couple of years there. It was the only highlighter I owned. It was beautiful. But then even her blushes are just either not my color or they're not meant for the lightness of my skin. So I was very excited to try these out. I have the shade Darya, which is this like really pretty like watermelon pink that I just screams spring to me. And then I've been on the search for a dupe, and it is a tan lavender pink dusty rose blush. And every time I see a blush that's like tan or bronze, I go for it. This is much more tan in real life, but it is the shade tan. And I'll go ahead and give a swatch of these on the back of my hand. But I have used these a couple of times already and love both of them. They're a much easier product to use for me than her eyeshadow product. So top is tan, bottom is Darya, just really nice spring color. And then what I have been using the tan for is actually bronzer. It's really nice for that. So that is what I'm going to do today. And I will start off with, oh, thank God for dark color pants. Okay, I'm gonna start out with this for bronzer, and I'm just going to put a couple of dots. Don't be afraid of this product. It's not going to stamp or be like too much, and you don't have to be super quick with it, but it just is a quick product on its own. It's just very easy. See, it just blends in right away. It blends in really nice. It sinks in too. This is another one of those products like that Beauty Pie highlighter wand. This is gonna sink into the skin instead of look like pigment sitting on top of your skin. It's just, I'm so happy I picked these up, and it's like 22 bucks. They look small, but I think you do get a lot of product because you're not using a lot for each application. So if this was like your only blush, your only bronzer, or like one of few, I think it would be great. That's why I am happy that I finally took the leap. I'm gonna blend a little on my nose here because I'm looking a little pale. No, not I. All right, then next is blush. I'll just do a little bit. I like a lot of blush, so don't come for me saying that that's a lot of dots. It blends out. It's going to be fine. We'll make it work. I love this color. I don't have anything else like this in my collection because I tend to go for more dusty nude blushes on me, or like very neutral. But I think it's just like such a sweet little color for spring. And like you saw how much I applied, and it's not crazy pigmented. Like I typically wear a lot more blush than this, 1000%. So it's just really nice, and it's gonna go well with what I'm planning for the eyes. So I'm planning to dip into the Pat McGrath Huetopian Dream Palette. I don't know what possessed me. It's not that big of a discount. Pat does higher discounts on her own website, but this was on my spring wish list. I try not to over purchase. I'm well aware that makeup expires. I don't want to go crazy. I don't want a crazy collection. So I do like a fashion and beauty wish list for the seasons. And it's spring. It's so spring. And like these two on the end right here were like the whole reason. I know that the 4 on this side over here could be everyday looks for me, even into like this like oil slick color. Like those are the shades that I'm gonna wear, but then these 2 shades are like bringing the party for me. So I think that when you look at this color palette and then you look at that blush, yeah, it just fits right in to that color story. So I'm very happy with that. But before we jump into the eyeshadow, I am going to do my brows off camera, but I do want to mention I picked up the Kosas Air Brow and Brow Pop. They had this in a set for like $39 with a 20% discount. I had already been using the Air Brow in the taupe shade, so very happy to say that I love this pencil, especially for filling in my sparse brows from where we were Generation Overpluck. And then I actually really like the clear. Even after I've used these 2 products, I'll go in with the clear just to hold the brows up in place. So I'm gonna do that off camera, and then we'll jump into the eyes. All right, brows done. They're definitely cousins today. I'm not a brow perfectionist. It's just not who I am. Anyway, so I already had that primer down and the concealer, which I will say that concealer sets to a point where it's not tacky anymore. It feels like it's going to be a good base, maybe a little bit of tack. But I kind of already mapped out what I want to do because I really want to use this shade right here. It's just so fun. It's like a pink with a purple yellow gold, like very pale yellow gold shift. So I am going to grab a flat brush like this one just to start laying down some shadow. And the way I plan this out is I'm actually going to lay down this shade first. We're going to see how this goes. I have used Pat McGrath for a while now, eyeshadow formula, but this is the first time I'm going to be making this look happen, so fingers crossed, everyone. And I tend to go a little bit, I'm looking down because I don't like to do this raise my eyebrows to do my makeup, because you'll see as soon as I drop that down, I'm losing a lot of that because of my eyes shape. It's a more deep set. So I'm going to go up a little bit above onto that orbital bone, because when I look forward and normally it's going to, you'll be able to see a little bit peeking through, and I just got some fallout. That's my fault because I just don't feel like dipping my finger in shadows, but I feel like I'm going to have to with that final topper, because this is very shimmery too, but her celestial shades are just the coolest texture. It's like a dry, flaky glitter, but in the best way possible, and it does stick around. I mean, you will get fallout throughout the day, especially if you're wearing these for an extended period of time, but They're just beautiful. Like that shade in itself is really pretty. It almost looks like it has a darker base pigment once you get it on, but it has that like purple pink reflect. It's just so pretty. Yeah, see some of these shades, if you know and love Pat McGrath, it's because of her texture, so you will get kind of like a little bit of kick up in some of these, but that's not an issue for me. I do want to talk about Pat McGrath pricing though. So Pat McGrath, before I get more carried away with my eye look, she's very pricey. She's a very pricey brand, especially these eyeshadow palettes. Now, these palettes are 1000% worth it because the quality of her eyeshadows and the ease of use is incredible. We'll get into that even more with mattes, but her textures and sparkles are just so special. And it is worth it when you use a discount like the Sephora sale or like Pat McGrath's website. I have seen these, the first palette I got I think was like 30 to 35% off. If you can find a palette that you know you're going to come back to over and over again, for me, that was the Divine Rose, I think too. Shades like this, you can tell that this has been loved on. Especially this one right here. These are the shades that I wear more than anything else, especially in the fall and winter. This was worth it for me because I'm going to get a ton of use out of this and I don't need a ton of eyeshadow. So if I'm buying only a couple eyeshadows a year and I know that this is the color story I'm looking for, yes, the price is more than worth it. Now this, to me, feels like very much so a sister palette, and this almost brings this palette into spring and summer for me, so it was worth it. Do you need it? Do you need an eyeshadow palette that is this expensive? Absolutely not. Is it fun and works really well? Absolutely. So now that that rant's over with, I'm going to grab a blending brush. This brush is older than my oldest niece. Fun fact. And I'm sad they don't make it with the goat hair anymore. This is the MAC 217, best blending brush ever. But I'm now going to go into this shade just to blend out the edges of that shadow that we just laid down. Her mattes are very blendable, but with her formula, I do like to tap because it's an artistry formula. They're meant to really lay down pigment, but they blend beautifully. So don't let that kind of scare you. And I don't really have a set plan for shape. We are literally just playing and getting ready with each other today. And you'll see what I mean when I say, like, I like to use windshield wiping and circular buffing motions to blend my eyeshadow. That is not conducive with some brands. This brand, it is. Like, that already looks blended. I do have a spot. I don't know if it's going to show up, like right here, that seems to never want to pick up product. I don't know if that's about. My skin is just like, no, no thank you. Just in that one spot. Okay. So that's where we're at right now. I'm going to blend a little bit in here. This is the magic part, I think. No. Actually, let's build up. I like to build up a little bit of depth on the outer corner of my eye, especially when I look straight forward. You'll see that I have some lid space here. I like to kind of create a little bit more dimension in that area. So I'm going to grab a pencil brush. This is the 219 from MAC. Again, goat hair. I don't know if I want to go in with the kind of classic darker brown or if I want to build with that oil slick type shade. Let's do the oil slick and just see where that gets us. It could, I lied. I really want that shimmer to be the star of the show because I've been so excited about it. Let's go in with that matte color. And for this, what I like to do is start like I'm doing eyeliner, and then I'll build the shape around that. So I got my little line there. Go back in, pick up some more, and then I'll create that wing. And a pencil, as soon as you find the right shape of pencil brush for your eye, it's gonna make doing this type of thing so much easier. But I'm just gonna bring that out and then start to feather in the edges. Pack it a little bit more right there. And then this is the point where I'll go in with my blending brush again and just feather those edges a little bit more. And if you want to build even more depth, that's when I would pick up just a little bit more on the brush, but I don't want to go too smoky today. I just want to be a glitter queen. And we're like more than halfway there with the shape. I do want to pick up just a little bit more. Okay, then we'll do the same on the other side. I'm in the camp of picking up less and building. Sometimes people don't talk about this. They're like, yeah, put this eyeshadow down. You can always add, you can't take away. It's the same principle in sewing where they say measure twice, cut once. That first cut in fabric is always like terrifying, and I feel the same way about laying down a color at first. And I think I did a whole ass different shape on this eye. Did I? Is this a whole different shape? It absolutely is a whole different shape, and I like this one better. So we're gonna go in and do the same on the other side. Yep. There we go. Go ahead and blend that. And you'll see I always leave a space here in the inner corner. I need to keep my inner corner bright because my eyes are deep set and a little close together, and I like to elongate them, open them up, and keep this very bright in the inner corner. So I am actually going to grab a very, very fluffy brush and just kind of marry all of this together. Again, with just those windshield wiper motions. And then I'm going to come back in with that powder brush I used to set and just flick away anything that might have fallen out. Okay, and then let's go in for the best part, which is the shimmer. Oh, just look at that. It's so shiny. And again, it's that beautiful like Barbie pink underneath peeking through with all of that like gold and pink and purple reflect. So I'm just going to lay that down right on top. And I will take this into the inner corner because I think the way it refracts light is going to keep that area bright, and if I need to, I can go back in with a highlighting shade. But this is so glittery and fun. Like just, oh, it almost looks like wet, but it is the coolest texture too, because it feels creamy like once you rub it between your fingers, but when you're picking it up and rubbing it, you can see, I don't know if this will focus, you can see all the like little flecks in it. So much fun. Okay, so now I'm just going to clean up again because we definitely got glitter fallout on our face. And now I am going to, I kind of wanted, yeah, I think this look is going to call for this. So I picked this up in the sale as well. It's the Lancome 24-Hour Drama Liquid Pencil, and this is in the shade 07 Purple Cabaret. I have been looking for a purple eyeliner. I'm really praying that Victoria Beckham comes out with one because that's my favorite eyeliner formula. But this is like a black based pigment with purple on top, and it is a little bit shiny. But I like that because it's dark enough to... My camera cut off. Ugh. Okay, what I was saying, before I was so rudely interrupted, is the eye pencil is that black base with purple, and these are just really nice to find a color that is really flattering to your eye. For me, I have hazel eyes that show mostly like yellow green, so red violet or violet is what I tend to go for. It's just a nice way to make your eyes pop without being overloaded with eyeshadow. I mean, who am I to say that today? I am overloaded with eyeshadow, but on days where I'm not, or I'm doing like a very basic look, something like this really makes the eyes pop. And so far I really like this formula. But Victoria Beckham, do purple next, please. And then I went in with my Thrive Cosmetics liquid lash extensions. I use the shade Crystal, which is the brown black. Talk about this in every video, love it, great. And then it cut off, but I received the Ilia, what is this? The Balmy Gloss sample in the shade Tahiti, which I will do a swatch of. I really like how these feel, and I really like this shade. It's just almost like too red instead of peach to wear today. Like even in comparison to that blush that I was wearing and the palette that I'm wearing, I want to go for something a little bit like Barbie pink, kind of like the shimmery shade that we put on. So I'm not going to be using a Sephora shade, but I'm trying to determine between the Fraise and the Fruity Cereal. I think I want to do Fruity Cereal today. So this is the NBD Face Glaze. No, it's not. I talk about that a lot though. This is the Lip Oil and Glaze number 5 Fruity Cereal. It really does smell like Fruit Loops or Fruity Pebbles. I was in the Fruity Pebbles camp growing up, but these are amazing. Yeah. Yep. Just want to keep it kind of neutral because I'm very sparkly up top. I love these. I'll be doing a lip care favorites video, and these will take up a large portion of that. I have every shade, so I might be doing a swatch video too. Let me know if that's something you'd be interested in. I can do a swatch and go through all the scents, because Ingrid just said in Kaki's video that these are like lip smackers for adults. They totally are. They totally are. So if you were the girl that hoarded lip smackers as a kid, you need to get on these. They're nourishing. They're beautifully glossy. They make your lips look plump and kind of mask those lines. So love this one. And before I got cut off too, I added a little bit more of the Darya blush just to kind of balance the color that's on my eyes. But the hair, she's just, we're a side part today because that's what I woke up with, and I don't feel like fighting her. All of the youths can laugh if they want. But I want to do a quick overview. So I am really happy with the things I picked up in the sale. This is not all of it. If you'd like to see more of the items I picked up, let me know. If this format of video was okay, I'm praying that it turns out okay, because I love applying makeup and talking about it. And I miss the days in college when we all got together in a row together and just chatted. So yeah, keep me posted if you like this, but I am so happy with this finished look. The eyes, it's just so much fun, and I am so happy to have this in my life. This lived up to what I wanted it to, so very happy with that purchase. The Addison Ray Item Concealer, this is like, I like it, but I think I like the Kosas more. This is still a good option. If you want something that sets down a little bit more than the Kosas, that one tends to stay a little bit more dewy. It's not super dewy, but it sinks into the skin. It just looks like skin. This, on my skin, I can tell that there's makeup sitting on top. And I will say the same for the Nars Light Reflecting Foundation. I love this. I love the coverage. I love that it looks like skin. I think in the summer, this is exactly what I want. But in the cooler months, I will probably continue to repurchase the Chantecaille Future Skin Gel, which makes me so sad because this is like half or a little over half the cost of the Chantecaille. And then these puff paints. I am in the camp with Kaki. Like, why are we not talking about these more? Like, these are beautiful. The third color is not really my jam. It's like that cherry, but I think it might be too deep, too red. I hope she comes out with more shades of these. These are super user-friendly. If I were traveling, like, these don't take up a lot of room, and you have your bronzer and your blush. or even like a neutral blush for deeper skin tones. I can't say enough good things about these. I love these. I hope that more people will jump on board with these. Then the Lancome eyeliner. I love this. I've been wearing this a lot recently. It doesn't run, it doesn't transfer. It's just a nice purple, but I am still praying that Victoria Beckham hears my plea. And then I think last is the Kosas. Eyebrow products are my favorite. I was skeptical about the shape of the brow pencil because it is that like teardrop shape, but it's small enough that it still gives a good outline, and this has been giving my eyebrows a lot more structure, which I've been wanting lately. For like the fluffy look, I think you can get it with these. It's not going to be a full soap brow and hold them up all day in the same exact position, but it will do a good job of holding them in place for most of the day. Yeah, I love these. I will continue to repurchase these as my brow products. And I believe this set is still available at Sephora. They also have it on the Kosas site. They also sell this at Credo. I don't know if it's in the three pack set, but all of those places have discounts. Sign up for email notifications. You do not have to partake in the Sephora sale. Like I said, I had waited on purchasing or repurchasing these items for the sale. And yeah, this is the longest outro ever. Let me know if you want to see more of this type of content, and I hope that I will see you in the next video. Bye.